to another stream. I am just finishing off a nice glass of diluted orange because I feel quite thirsty. It's very nice orange, might I add, as well. And believe it or not, I don't know if it was an M&S. I might be mistaken. I think it might be like just an Asda Zone, like an Asda Zone kind of cheap bottle of juice, but I can't remember. But it's very nice. So welcome back to another stream. We've got a gig announcement today. Big shout to Joe Dunn. Big respect to you. What you're saying. So we've been blessed with another gig. So I got asked about this gig a couple of days ago, and I was very excited to be asked to come back again for the second time because the first time was actually really good. It was really fun. So I'm all good my end, Joe. All good at my end. So I got asked for the second time, and instantly I was like, yeah, of course, I want to do this again. So we've been asked to go back to the lodge at Bridlington, to the kids rave again. So they're putting the third edition of their family rave on. So they put these family raves on every now and again, and this is the third one. So we got booked on the last one, which was the second family rave, and it went off, which was really good. The first event they did, I believe, we wasn't on that one, but I think that one, if I'm not mistaken, actually sold out, and it was really busy. So there was a demand to obviously put another one on, and then we put another one on, and they put another one on, and I had been recommended from doing the Rave Kids, the official Rave Kids, and they put myself and the layman on the second one, which was a really fun vibe. And now they have asked us again to come back and do the third one. So this is a really cool opportunity for me again. Oh, pardon. Really cool opportunity for me again because I love doing just gigs and events in general, but there is quite a good vibe about doing like the kids raves and things, and also the venue where these kids raves take place is in a nightclub, which was the very first ever nightclub that I went into when I started going out raving. So I think 2000 and somewhere 2016 or something like that would be when I kind of first sort of started going to raves. So obviously I've been a fan of dance music all my life, and rave music and rave tunes, and I've always liked and loved the idea and the look of raves. And I always grew up in like a little market town. So the market town, they had like one nightclub that I don't think you could really call it a nightclub as such. It was just a really little room, and there was just one resident DJ that played like every night. Like every weekend, and it was just the same guy, and you went in there and you kind of knew what you was expecting, and he was the guy who would just, be there week in, week out, and like I say, you knew the vibe. So I wouldn't really class it as going to a proper club, or to like a proper event. And then this venue where I'm playing now, they put a clubland night on, and believe it or not, back then they booked Darren Styles. He was headlining, and then they also had Entrance. Entrance were on the bill as well, and then there was some like local warm up DJs. And I just saw it by chance in a bus shelter, and went to the venue, really enjoyed the night, and then continued to support that brand. And that's when I kind of first started really going out raving and really going into the nightclub scene. Really fell sort of in love with the nightclub, and they put some other nights on, they put some house nights on. And just because, I was just going out and supporting and just enjoying the nightlife, I'd go and support, and they even put like an R&B night on. And I just went because I just genuinely liked the vibe, I liked the atmosphere, I liked this club. And then unfortunately, the club shut down, and it kind of got like this massive revamp, and it turned into more like a restaurant, but they still kind of had like a club element to it. Like there was always a restaurant when it was the old place, and they did like a Sunday carvery, but it kind of had this like revamp, and they opened up a rooftop terrace, and they do like rooftop parties in the summer and stuff, and it just genuinely got a whole kind of like new kind of vibe to it. And the guy who used to put the like the clubland nights on there, I think he now become like the manager of the venue, and he's now become like a manager for it. And he doesn't necessarily really put like big clubland nights on there anymore. But he puts like house nights on, and he's done a few smallish events and some biggish events, and he had the Blackout Crew there not long ago. So he kind of still keeps it going, and he still puts like the odd events on there, and it's a real pleasure to go from being that little sort of young me, because when I first was old enough to start going out drinking, like, and going out, it was more like going, school friends to the pub round the corner from where I lived, and then I kind of got to this point where I thought I want to do more than just go and sit in the pub and put a quid in the jukebox. I want to go and experience like music nights and raves and gigs and concerts, and I was emceeing myself at the time, so I wanted to push myself, to the limits and the maximum, the boundaries. I wanted to get myself out there. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that was going around drinking in the local pubs, they either just couldn't be asked, they were just stuck in their own little routine, or they didn't like the type of music, so they didn't want to go to a heavy rave. And for me back then, I wanted to go to hardcore nights, I wanted to go to clubland and bounce nights, I didn't want to go to baseline nights as such. And they was more like, let's go and see baseline nights, and let's go and see let's go and see like Fisher playing live at festivals. And for me, I'd got to that point where I've got my love for my classic house and my classic dance, but I was liking the fact that there was this faster music. There was bounce and Makina and hardcore, and that was really starting to come in. And then I just kind of sort of slowly started to leave the pub days behind, still going now and again and still popping in, and all of that stuff. How am I doing tonight? I'm tired, but I'm doing good. I've had a couple of really hectic weeks. So last week, I obviously, for those who don't know, I bought a motorcycle, and the whole process of buying the motorcycle was quite a exciting, stroke nerve wracking sort of experience. So I bidded on a motorcycle in an auction that was in an auction house, and just genuinely like the whole sort of anxiety and stress of like, because I obviously, I wouldn't have bidded if I didn't want to win the bike. So obviously I wanted to win the bike, and then there was that like, oh, did I bid high enough? Did I put enough on the bid? And the good thing about it being in an auction, I was able to go and look at the bike, and I was able to sit on it and get the feel for it. And then obviously that meant, sort of in a bad way, that I fell in love with the bike. And then if I hadn't have won it, it would have been like so much more kind of like, disappointing. But there was all this like, I'd bidded on it, and then I was checking to see if somebody else had bidded. And then I won it, and then I had to sort out all the payment, and then I had to go and pick the bike up, and I don't have a license yet. Well, I've had a license in the past, like on a CBT, and that is the aim again, to go on a CBT and do the CBT again, because in the UK, you might be from the UK, you probably are, CBTs, they only last 2 years and then they expire, and you've got to redo them again. So I had a bike about 6 or 7 years ago, and I had to sell it for financial reasons, and the CBT obviously expired, so I need to redo it again. But the bike was going for such a bargain that I couldn't not buy the bike, if that makes sense. So I bought the bike, and then obviously I had to go and I had to push the bike to get it to my friend's house who's storing it for me, just until I do the test and get it insured and get it on the road, and then of course it'll be in my hands, and I'll obviously be riding it, and I'll be, going from A to B on it. So that was all really stressful. Exciting but stressful at the same time. And by the end of the week, I felt really shattered because, like, obviously the night before the auction was due to end, like, obviously I couldn't sleep because I was excited. Like, what if I win the bike? And then there was like, but what if I don't win the bike? And I'd got so excited about it, so that kind of like tired me out. And then I was obviously at work and stuff as normal, and all that kind of thing. And then it came to this week, and I had like some really busy things on at work. So we hosted a music stage at like an outdoor festival yesterday, and I was like stage managing all day, and I was on my feet all day. And then I was really tired from yesterday, and then I was back into work today. So it's been a couple of tiring weeks, but we're getting there. So but yeah, so back onto the kids' rave. So obviously, to go back to that venue, which was the first venue that I ever sort of went into rave, is obviously a really good vibe. So on the 18th of August, which, believe it or not, it's not all that far away. It's just under a month away. So like time will pass sort of really quickly. So we are gonna be doing the kids rave. We're gonna be doing an hour set, 5 p.m. until 6, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that's really good. And I have also just confirmed another booking that I am going to be really excited to share with you all, and it is going back somewhere again for the second time as well, and I'm looking forward to this. And this is I'm gonna be announcing this anytime now. So I'm actually working on some artwork for it to announce this one. I did some artwork for it the following time, and it wasn't that long ago when we did it either. It wasn't actually that long ago when we just did the last edition of this gig. And the next one is not till October, so there's a little bit of time away. But the people who sort of wanted to book us, they got in touch, and we want you to come back, kind of thing. And unfortunately, because they're a venue, they've got dates and things to think about. And then I've got dates to think about with other bookings. So like I had some free dates available that was sooner than October, but then they had things on in their venue, and then dates when they were free, I was obviously already booked somewhere else. So we just decided that October, I have a pretty clean October. The venue has a clean October, and a special guest who is joining me on this one also said that October worked better for him. So we've settled the date. The date has now been completely confirmed. It's going to be the 5th of October, and I'm working on some artwork. I'm going to send it over to the special guest once I've got it done, and then I'm going to be like, what do you think of this artwork? And he'll probably tell me 101 things that's wrong with it, and then he'll improve and make the artwork even better than it is. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I am actually really liking this artwork, and I think it's got quite a nice vibe to it, and everything's like really clear and nice to see. So I'm thinking it's gonna be really cool. So what style of art do I do? So I don't do much in the way of art. I do with my job as a youth music facilitator. One of the parts of the job that I have to do is make like flyers and posters. So I've got sort of like self-taught like basic flyer making designs. So like don't when it comes like someone's putting a rave on, don't get me wrong, there's like 101,000 million people out there that can knock up a rave flyer better than me. Like I am by no means a professional at flyer making, but I can put something basic and simple together. So normally, if it's like a small rave and the budget, isn't really that big for the event, and they don't want to pay somebody like 70 quid to make a flyer, or 50 quid to make a flyer, and they really want to go on a cheap budget, then 9 times out of 10 I will just knock them up a real, just a basic flyer that will just say everything that it needs to say. They don't look too bad. I do more, because of my job, I do more like music, like advertising, like music sessions. So like, free guitar lessons kind of thing, or something like that. That's normally the style of posters that I like make, but I have a little dabble into just doing some kind of like bit, like rave ones just now and again. And a couple of people have asked me in the past to knock up flyers, and I have done something in the past that will work for like raves and stuff. But like I say, there is people out there that can do it way better than me, and I would recommend that, if you really want a really good branding flyer for your event, then go and pay somebody to do it, like, because I'm not that good, and I would really look shit, especially in the eyes of people that can make like really good flyers, that people that use like Photoshop. I just go on like websites where there's like templates, and then I just edit the templates and change the text of the templates essentially, and just add a few different little bits and bobs in. But I'm just doing the basics. I'm not doing really anything too complicated or too complex when it comes to flyer making. So yeah, so the 5th of October we have a really good event to announce, and I'm looking forward to going back for the second time. I can't wait to announce it and share it with you all, and it's going to be a shed load of fun. So keep your eye out for that. It's going to be absolutely wicked. What instrument do I play? So what I mainly do is I mainly DJ. So I use like DJ controllers. I can use vinyl turntables. I can do kind of like basic I can do DJing really well. The only thing I can't really do is like scratching and stuff, but I can get tracks in beat. I can put a good set together. But besides DJing, I can play the keyboard. But I'm not a professional at playing the keyboard. But I know like a few well-known melodies on the keyboard. I can jump on a keyboard and I can play things like Faithless Insomnia, Alice DJ, Better Off Alone. Recent one I just learned was Rhythm is a Dancer by Snap. That little bit at the beginning, that where it goes like do 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 do. And then I can do stuff like Zombie Nation. I can do like Two Unlimited, There's No Limit, Heart of Asia. I can do a few basic things, few melodies, but I can't. I'm not like a professional piano player. And then I can play the drums ever so slightly. I'm not, again, I can go on a pair of drums and I can just make like simple little drum beats to an extent, but I'm not totally really good at like holding time and rhythm on like proper full drum kits and stuff like that. But my main kind of sort of what I do is DJing and like music production. So I produce like electronic dance music, and I produce beats and stuff like that, essentially, and do stuff like that, and that's really enjoyable. But like I say, it's just one of them things where I think it's just absolutely just for me DJing's the main passion, but I've always liked like rave and dance songs that have pianos in them. So my sort of passion for piano kind of comes from wanting to learn them, like listening to dance tunes and wanting to learn the piano riffs that are in them dance tunes, and that's where the piano came from. And then drums has just kind of been like through work, because I do like youth music and I do a lot of work with bands and stuff. So we set up drum kits, and I work in a music studio once a week, and there's just like an option to go on a drum kit. So it's just like I've always been fascinated and thought, oh, these instruments are fascinating, but I've never wanted to like fully take them up as a hobby. To play to play guitar and stuff like that. But when I go in a room and there's just a chance to strum on one, I'll strum on one or I'll bang on drums, and that is pretty much about as far as it gets with me, and going from there. So, but yeah, I play guitar and drums. People need to know how to play an instrument. Singing because it's nice to learn. Yeah, exactly. Of course it is. Of course it's nice to practice to songs and stuff like that. So I think right. I'm gonna send this flyer to my friend, and then if he likes it, no doubt he'll want to change some bits and bobs on it, because he normally does. That's the type of person he is. He always, and it's not a bad thing, but he's very. I'm trying to think like what the word is, but he's very like. So he knows when he doesn't like something, or he's very like things have to be right for him. Otherwise, like if he puts something out and it's not right, it will bug him that he knows it's not right. If that makes sense. So like if he, for example, if I sent him a flyer and he didn't think the colour yellow went well on the flyer, but he kind of said, look, we'll put the flyer out. It would annoy him, the fact that he doesn't think that yellow fits in the flyer. So he would say like the yellow doesn't fit in the flyer, which isn't a bad thing, because like I say, it's all about kind of it's all about kind of what it's all about kind of what was it's all good to make things better and make things work and make things feel right and sound right. But sometimes when you don't see something wrong with something, and then you think you've got everything right, and then they find something they don't like, that's obviously that's obviously a big thing. Right, so we'll send it to him. Actually, no. What am I doing? No. Oh God, now I've messed it all up. I didn't want to send him it. Well, I did, but I wanted to just do something first before I did. And maybe me didn't do that. I've got to go. Keep up the music. It sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm looking forward, like I say, to the kids' rave. It's going to be a shed load of fun. I'm looking forward to it. So check the flyer for details, all of that good stuff. Make sure to like, comment, share. We'll see you soon.